everybody, welcome back to the Knitting Eillets podcast. I'm very happy to be back with a regular podcast. It feels like it's been a long time, but I think it was just the 4 weeks I originally started with. My last video was about the Swiss Yarn Festival. If you want to check that out, it's in the on my channel. It was just a wonderful day at the Swiss Yarn Festival with my friends. I bought quite a lot of yarn and I also showed you the yarn I bought in that video at the end of it and told you a bit about the plans I have with those yarns. So I will not repeat all of this in the regular podcast. If you want to watch that Swiss Yarn Festival video, go back to the last video. I really want to thank you all for your comments on my last podcast episode, also the comments I got on Instagram about me asking if you would like to see garden stuff or horsey stuff a little bit, not turning it into a garden or a horse channel, but just because those are two big hobbies of mine and really help me stay healthy, also as in my mind for my job. So I can really do that job, and yeah, they are big parts of my life, and I want to share stuff with you about them. But yeah, I'm not I'm not really as skilled in gardening and I don't want to have a horse channel because the community there is, yeah, it's very critical and harsh, and I don't want that. I really prefer and I really admire the knitting community because, yeah, I've never seen a video of any podcaster where it was like, where there were mean comments and only like constructive criticism, if at all, or just nice words. And it's such a wholesome and loving community. I really like that. And I also want to thank you for also being here and being that supporting. And I like doing the videos even more than I thought I would. And yeah, let's start with the podcast. This is episode 12 already. Oh guys, winter is back. We planned a spring camp and it turned into a snow camp. We had 15 centimeters of snow, -2 degrees, and it was just cold. But it was fun, it was a good camp. But I'm always, as a teacher, it's just always very tired when you come back because it's not that relaxing even when you, like we had a very nice class now. They went to bed quite early, they were quiet really early, so we could sleep a lot too, but you're not as relaxed or as recharged in the morning as you were if you slept at home. It takes a lot of energy to do a camp, and I'm recharging now. So yesterday I slept like 12 hours. It was necessary. This will not be the longest podcast because of the preparation to the camp, and the camp I didn't have too much time knitting, but I have 1 finished object, 3 whips, 1 resting whip, which I will show you here. And yeah, the plans I already told you in the last video, they haven't changed much. So it will be just a quick recap of the plans. Today I am wearing my stick season sweater with a Saskia New Jersey yarn. The pattern is from the Creabea, knitting podcasts, Rebecca Clow. It is a wonderful pattern. I just finished it like 2 episodes ago, like episode 10 I think was the... I love the details, I love the pattern. It was such a fun to knit. I just changed the neckline a little bit to make it a bit lower. The original would be like this, and I don't like my necklines to be high up. So I just elongated a bit here, and then like a centimeter more before I started the increases. And I love how it sits. I'm wearing my pajamas underneath, and I can really wear this wool on my bare skin. Yesterday I wore this jumper with just a t-shirt underneath, so I'm very sensitive and to wool, and I'm trying to fix that a bit by wearing jumpers with t-shirts only, so my skin gets used to it, at least at the arms. let's start with the finished object. It's my Lacey spring socks. So I loved how they turned out. I love how they wear. I think these are my most perfect fitting socks I've knitted so far. I love the yarn. It is from Forever Taiga yarns, a Swiss hand dyer, and it's this lovely. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, that's closer to color. Little browns and greens, but very soft. Like this is very true to color here. I put in this lace pattern, which I took from a sweater. I think it was the Tulip by Ririko. It's what she took for the raglan lines. And I really liked the sweater, and I kind of invented some lacy summer socks last year. And I kind of changed them a bit up and wanted to do them again. And I really liked the pattern. I especially liked that I started like not all in one line. I often don't like it if the kind of pattern starts like a break on the toe. I like that it's kind of slowly fading in the pattern. I decided against doing it all around the upper leg. I just stuck with the 3 pattern repeats up here. I don't know why this is curling there. They are not blocked. I never block my socks. I just wear them and then I wash them when they're dirty, and then they get blocked then. So I don't do that much of a fuss with socks. I think I managed to do the perfect edging. I did a round of garter stitch at the top and then the picot edge, and I really like how this looks even at the back. Like this little ridge here, this little garter ridge, I really like that. I just took the contrasting color also from Forever Taiga yarns for the heel. I didn't take it for the toe because I really wanted to slide into this lace pattern. The yarn is a very special sock yarn. It has no nylon in it. It is merino and tencel for the sock, and merino and rami for the contrast color. This feels a bit more rustic than this one. This one feels very soft, and I'm very interested to see how they will keep up and if they will remain nice for a long time, or if I will kill the yarn soon. I'm quite a sock killer. I always get holes in my sock quite quickly in the normal ones I buy, especially here at the front with the toes or at the backs with the heels. So I still have all of my wool socks, so keen to know. I really like how they look. They are very romantic, I think very summery, spring-like also, and yeah, I like it. I started with 14 stitches. I start toe up always. So I started with 14 stitches and then kind of knit 1 row back and 2 times back and forth. And then I kind of picked up the stitches from the beginning, the cast on stitches, and then I start knitting in the round and I kind of increase on the sides on 2.75mm needles. Sorry, my throat. It's so dry in the air again, although it's raining outside, but the landlord put the heating back on because it's that cold, and my throat is not responding very well to that. I increased to 60 stitches for the heel, and then I kept the 60 stitches but decreased 2 stitches for the picot edge. Yeah, the second is the same, of course. So I really love them. I like wearing them. They look really nice and they fit really well. Can I show you how they fit? I don't know. Let me do like this. Really nice. I just keep them on. Did some morning yoga. I actually wrote down this pattern of what I did on my Ravelry. So if you go to my Ravelry page, projects page, and it's a Lacey spring socks too, because it's the second time I do them. So you can see how I did it. let's go to the whips and start with the oldest one, I guess, which is one I started last time, but just so. And I've come quite a way, but of course it takes its time with fingering weight yarn. It's my summer spring shirt. I'm not sure yet if it's a 3/4 sleeve shirt or a long sleeve, if I can manage. It's with the, oh, it looks very great. The color is best here. It's a very, very nice green. It's the wool is merino silk, 80% merino, 20% silk, fingering weight wool by Ginger Twist Studios. I bought it in Scotland last year. And the color is Factory Girls, so it's a kind of a dark green, which is very hard to catch. That's not too bad. It's very hard to catch. When I come close, it will look grey. So it's just a normal raglan. So far, I took the number of the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow to cast on, just to know how many stitches. I wanted quite a deep neckline. Because it's a spring, I don't like it high up my neck, as you heard before, and in spring and summer even less. So it's quite a big neckline for now. So I really like to have a deep neckline, and there will be an I-cord edge in another color. Now let's see. I'm still at my first ball of yarn from the Ginger Twist Studios, and I have half a bar, yeah, less than half a ball of yarn, I would say. Maybe a third of a ball left, maybe even less. And I already split for sleeves, and I am past my bust, just covered my bust. I did a lot of short rows in the back. I did a lot of short rows up here, and I did again even more short rows just now down here after splitting for sleeves. So the neckline really lowers in the front. I'm very keen to see how far the yarn will get me, because I have this and another full 400 meters. So I'm a bit tight on yarn. That's why I'm bringing in other yarns. I want to do a colorwork part at the bottom. I'm thinking maybe also some stripes if I really run out of yarn, so I will kind of improvise, and I have yarn mess in my bag. So I have this lovely silk yarn, which is a mess right now, which I need to kind of roll up nicely. I already used it for something else, which I had to frog, and that's why it's like this, like 3 little balls. And yeah, I need to untangle it. And I hold it together with the Fibre Fox yarn, milkweed. Yeah, I think it's milkweed. So I will hold these together, and together with this, it will look very nice. And I want to do some color work, some flowery color work at the bottom edge. I do maybe small stripes before and after. I want to do the I-cord edging here and on the sleeves with this color work, and I'm not yet sure if I do color work on the sleeves. I think I will first do the body until I want the color work. Yeah, I need to kind of weigh my yarns now, so I really want to weigh how much this is, kind of knit around and see how much do I have left. So how much grams of yarn do I use in a round, so I can kind of calculate how long it will get me. And then I want to do the same on the sleeves, like start the sleeves. When I have started them and kind of picked up and it's all in the numbers I want, then I will do also weigh my yarn and then knit 1 or 2 rounds and then weigh again. So I know how, or maybe I need a centimeter or something and weigh again, and then I know centimeter is that much of yarn and how much will it get me, how long of a sleeve. So yeah, it's a bit of a calculating task. It's a bit annoying. I don't like doing that. I would prefer just like having a pattern for it and kind of, yeah, it's fine. But at the same time, I like kind of making up my own thing. So I love the color. I think it will look very nice. And I'm knitting that, actually, I'm knitting it on 4mm needles, so not that tight. But the gauge is very nice. I just showed you a not so nice part now. Like it's kind of interesting, like a fingering weight on 4mm needles, and it doesn't look airy or holy or something. It looks nice and light, but yeah, the Taiga gauge, I did a gauge swatch. The Taiga gauge didn't look that good, and I was way off gauge. I still, if you take the Tolsta Tee, which is I think 24 stitches gauge, I had like 28 stitches with a 3.5mm needle, and I still have 26 instead of 24 with the 4mm. So I'm not quite on gauge, but as I didn't look to the pattern really. I just cast on and then I knit. And I tried it on and I decided, oh, that's good. Now I split for sleeves, and now I do the same with the body. I just kind of put it on now and then and say, oh yeah, it looks nice. That's how it is. I'm not sure if I go up a needle size for the colorwork. I think I will, because I knit colorwork quite tightly. And I have the double strand, which is a little bit thicker than a fingering, because this is a little bit thinner fingering and this too. But together they are kind of a bit of a thicker fingering, maybe a sport weight. I think I need to go up in half a needle size to a 4.5mm needle for colorwork parts. My hair is wild this morning. I don't know, the dry air is making it like go everywhere. So the next whip is the one I started just before school camp. It's the one I also took with me. And it was a... I didn't want to cast it on until autumn, but we basically have autumn temperature and weather-wise, so I figured I don't want to knit on a summer spring tee when it's freezing. So I started my Musselburgh hat, and I love how it's turning out. I'm in for 30 centimeters now, and just look how gorgeous this is. Let me put away that. It's... the yarn combo even turned out better than I expected. So nice. And I got this yarn from das Mondschaf, which I lost the ball band actually. I don't know which color it is. Colorway. I got this from Christine from Knit and See in my crappy yarn advent swap as a Christmas gift. And I bought the Fibre Fox sock yarn boysenberry, I think it's called. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. And these two together make this. And it's so nice. I was afraid that this one would be too colorful for me for a hat, like, you know, on my face or near my face. And I wanted to kind of tone it down a bit. And I'm just smitten. This is just such a wonderful color with these dark red brownish speckles, the light ones, even some greener yellowy ones here. It's just a wonderful, and this boysenberry just kind of tones it all down, like it gives it a veil of that berry color over everything. It's just lovely. So I knitted. Sizing wise, I'm not sure. I wanted to do a small adult because I have quite a small head. But the Musselburgh hat is taken double, so you kind of knit a very long tube and push it inside each other, so you have a double layer of knitting. And when you fold it up the brim, you also have a 4 times layer there on your ear, so even 8. It's wonderful. So I did the size small, children's small adult, increased as she told to, and then I kind of held it to a hat I already knitted. And I know that hat is a bit on the tighter side, and it was exactly the same. And I was like, I want it to be a bit bigger. So I went in between sizes. I went in between small adult and medium adult. I think I increased 4 stitches more than for the size adult small. I increased 4 stitches more than that, the total number of stitches you should have. And I think it will be fine like that. So that's okay. I'm not yet sure if I need to knit the length of the small adult or the medium adult. I need to kind of go back to my other hat. I made another pattern once, and also a double hat which you fold inside, but you need it in two directions. And I need to measure how long that is, and then I can see I want a bit of a wider brim than I have at that one, so I guess I will do the longer, the size medium length, but we will see. I kind of have to measure that, and I'm still far away of both sizes, so yeah. I need to knit on, and it's fun knit, it's mindless. I have to watch my stitches because I have 2 threads, like 2 yarns, so I don't just accidentally take just one. But I love how this is turning out, like such a wonderful fabric. I might not be able to wear it before autumn because next week it should still not be too warm, like 15 degrees, something around that, but then I think spring and summer will finally arrive, which I'm looking forward to. And my last whip I started just before camp, and because I wanted not just to take a hat, I also wanted to take something else, something small, and I started another summer sock. And I just wore them just before, so forgive how they look. Those were my basically first socks I still have. It's a yarn from, I think I bought it with Butinet, which is a Swiss yarn craft seller, like everything's fabric crafty stuff. And it's a, if I remember right, it has a kind of a high cotton percentage in it. It's like 60% cotton viscose or something, and the rest is like polyamide and stuff, so they held up really good. I mean, I don't have holes yet. They look, sorry, they look really worn out at the bottom, but they are still holding up fine. They just kind of like felted a little bit, but there's no hole inside. It's keeping up nice. They don't fit quite well. These were my first ever socks, and I just got into sock knitting, so the top here is quite not stretchy, and it's for getting them on, it's not too tight when I wear them, but for getting them on, it's a bit annoying. So I think they will break soon. So I still had half of the same yarn left, and I just decided to do another pair, but with my new and improved sock recipe. And yeah, I'm in the midst of the first foot, so 2 more centimeters and there will be the heel. Not sure, I think I will stick with 58 stitches in this one because it's only stockinette stitch, and it's kind of relaxed a bit, the yarn, as it has a lot of cotton content, so yeah. It will be very plain vanilla toe-up sock. Nothing special, but I really like how the yarn kind of changed its intensity, like the old worn one and the new bright blue one. Yeah, it's a nice yarn, and it makes this pattern all by itself, so easy peasy if I want to take it with me somewhere. This is my go-to. So the last whip is kind of the one that will be resting now until autumn, and it is my Sweetshop blanket. And I go behind the sofa to show you. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares in this direction and 6 in this direction. So this is a blanket of 42 squares now, which is a nice lap blanket for now. But it's now getting too warm soon, and I don't want to have a half finished row. It kind of annoys me to see the half-finished row of squares. So I will stop now for summer and restart in winter or in autumn, take it back up, and kind of, I want to add some more rows like here where I did the 7th row. I want to add now, so it stays 6 rows wide and it will get longer and longer, like 8 rows I think, and then I might add another part on the other side. I'm not sure yet, so I love how this looks. I love the different colors, the mixes and matches I did. Also, this is just such a lovely mix. I just took 2 yarns and they kind of, it's just wonderful. And yeah, I love the yarn advent I used for that. Where is my last row? Here's my last row, this one. So with the blue, the purple, the yellow, this sock green I took, this nice combo, the blue and the orange mix I took. So I'm using my scrappy yarns. This is the Fibre Fox Rust Gill Hold Double, this one here. And this is actually the spring sock yarn and the green. So yeah, it's a lovely combo. I love it. So many variations and so many possibilities. It's a lovely pattern. And I'm looking forward on taking it back up in autumn. But for now, it's getting too big. Like when I have to knit it in summer, it's on my lap. It will be too warm. So nice little summer break. I have a blanket I can kind of use now. A little bit. I can put it around my shoulders. I can put it over my lap, and that's fine. So plans, I don't have any further acquisitions. I showed you all my acquisitions of the Swiss Yarn Festival, which is more than enough for the rest of the year maybe. But I acquired 2 patterns. I acquired the Sorrel Summer Tea by Woll Pine. The May top I bought for myself, which is from Sidi spinnt, which is a Swiss designer, and I just love how this top looks. Looks very nice and summery. And I don't have the yarn now. I have yarn in my stash, but I haven't kind of decided which yarn I want to use for it. But I have yarn to do that one, so don't need to buy any yarn, which is nice. And I didn't decide what summer top I want to do. I have the Eillets shirt on my list, and the foliosa scarf, shawl, and another tulip, but this, I'm not sure if I'm doing it in spring, summer, or a little bit early autumn, with the yarn I bought at the Swiss Yarn Festival by Woll Pine. And yeah, I think I need some small top for the summer. The Eillets shirt seems to be a bit more complicated. I looked into the pattern just a little bit and I was like, not that. I just kind of like, oh yeah, I know what you mean and I get it. So it's like a bit, I have to watch some videos there and get into it and ask maybe someone or so. I'm not sure if I'm in the mood, so this might be a bit more of a simple construction or of a top, and maybe I'm more in the mood for this one. I'm in the mood for both, but maybe I do them both at the same time. I have a bit more a complicated knit and a bit more of an easy one. So yeah, I will hopefully have some garden footage in the next podcast, because now it's not very nice. We had a little, as I said, a little winter break in, a little autumn feel in spring. So the garden is not even like ready for summer. There's my chill out sofa corner missing still. So I want to put that up and show it then to you, like a full tour. And I have another garden somewhere else, which is not at the house I'm living in. And yeah, there are some exciting weeks coming up for me privately, because we are looking to buy a house, but in Switzerland it is crazy expensive to buy a house, if not impossible, if you're not like a millionaire. So, and it's very hard to find what we are looking for. We are looking for a not too big house with a big garden, which is basically the problem. Switzerland is small, we don't have much of land, so the expensive part is the land, actually, not the house. So yeah, it's not really possible to buy a house in Switzerland for us. So we are thinking about moving to France. Like I already told you once, I can't see France when I look out of my window. I live right next to the French border, and so it's like 5 minutes more away. So it's really not that huge of a distance difference, but it's of course a different country. It's a European country, like European Union country. So yeah, it's interesting. We looked at some houses. We've seen one that we liked. We are going to the bank this next week and we'll see what they say. We've never been to a French bank for buying a house, so we have no clue what they will say. So it's very interesting, very exciting time. Maybe it doesn't work out now with this house we've seen, so wouldn't be bad. So we have a very nice apartment here and a garden, and it's not like a bad thing to stay here a bit longer. But I think moving to France is in the region of Alsace, so we can find there what we are looking for, like a not too big house with a big garden. Just something else that is exciting in life. And yeah, that was it actually. For the final minutes, as always, I would be very happy if you subscribed to my channel and liked the video. You can find me on Ravelry as Eillets, on Instagram as knitting_Eillets. And yeah, if you feel like it, you can also give me a private message on Instagram or Ravelry. I would be very happy to write and chat with you on an informal way. Write me if you want to, and thank you very much for watching this episode, and see you next time.